Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, hello, hello. We are girls behaving metaphysically with a brick wall behind us. Oh, what?
And it's just like purplish, pinkish.
I know it's
cool.
like a night out at the bars or something during like Miami Vice days.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, oh, it looks like I'm at the club, which I haven't been in years. So this is great.
Right, which is probably why we think it looks like the club, because the club doesn't look anything like that anymore. Anyway, we are girls behaving metaphysically. We're here to have a good time today because life is short, so why not? I'm Robyn Rice Olmsted.
I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson. And I am joining you from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, where it is actually freezing this morning.
Well, I am joining you from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I have dressed in honor of the freezing for you because it's hot here. And why I thought this was a cute outfit is beyond me. But you know, that's the beauty of this Zoom world we live in.
Robyn, look, I feel you. I finally lost a few kilos, and I was able to like get into this pair of pants I haven't been able to wear for about a year. They're still too tight, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm wearing these damn pants today.
Yeah, and you know, it's so funny because guys don't understand that. Like husbands, spouses, partners, you know, like when our teenage godson, you know, puts on his like big parka and it's 85 degrees outside, you know, or his hoodie, his black hoodie, it's like, and Gil's like, what are you doing? You know, and I'm like, he thinks he looks cute. It's you know, it's a thing. It's not, it has nothing to do, you know, it's like, it's all right. We'll sweat for fashion. We'll sweat, you know?
Yeah. I'll suck it in a little bit for these pants because, yeah. Losing weight, like when you're menopausal, is not easy. Let me tell you.
Right.
And but weight's been like a struggle my whole life. So it's not like, you know, not like it's gotten any easier, but menopause definitely hasn't made it easier. But so I'm definitely celebrating and wearing these tight pants today.
All right. So let's just declare it a time of celebration. And
yes.
Let us let you know that if you're joining us, we'd love for you to say hello. Let us know from where, which side of the world you're on, because we know that wherever it is, we're just glad you're here with us. And it's always fun to hear, you know, people from Australia and Canada and all over the world. So it's just fun to know, because we know there are girls behaving metaphysically out there everywhere, and boys. We are equal opportunity. It's just that we are the girls. So today our topic is, Natasha, tell us.
So I thought as a topic, because this is something I've been working with in my meditation and in my prayer life, is like, what is life calling forth from me right now? So what is life calling forth from you right now? What is life calling forth from us right now? You know, I think it's easy to get our dose of what's happening through media, whatever type of media you consume. And, you know, every time I check in on my home country, I'm always worried. And I was like, okay, so what is life calling of me right now? What is life calling forth from me right now? And from all of us. And yeah, I've just been working with that in my prayer and in my meditation life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing because we do a segment in a few minutes called our card pull. And,
Mm.
you know, basically the reason we started that because it's how we're always looking at the signs and what's life telling us and
Mm.
what's life showing us. And so I think, that's just a little piece, but I think when you sit and you really contemplate like what life is trying to tell you,
Mm. Mm.
because I think also, and I don't want to get way into it because we'll do that after the break, but you know, I think it changes throughout the years, right?
For sure.
How life speaks to you,
Mm-hmm.
and by life we mean life, the universe, spirit, God, whatever it is, whoever's talking to you, Jesus, whoever is talking to you, or whatever you're listening to, I think it has a way of speaking to you differently throughout,
Mm.
at least me.
Mm. 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 It's so true. It's so true. And what I wanted to just sort of add a bit to what you said is like, look, some whatever is your deepest internal voice, your deep, like the highest expression of your consciousness, that internal voice, that voice as well. I've been thinking a lot about like even how we use the term God, and yet how I know, and just from my own experience as well, really deeply spiritual people who call themselves like atheists, because that's just the term we use, or agnostic, but that can still hear that still small voice. For them, they just use a different way to conceptualize it. And so if you're able to be with whatever that is for you, whether you are religious or non-religious, what is it that you feel is being asked of you right now at this time on the planet?
Yeah.
And so, Robyn, I'm going to ask you.
What are you going to ask me to do, the card pull of the week?
No, I want you to. Are we going to do the card pull first? Or are you going to talk about what you feel like life is calling for?
No, I think I think we should talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
After the break, when we dive deep. Let's get
easy.
to the card pull
easy.
of the week.
All right. I'm easy.
All right. You have cards there, or you want me?
Oh, I was going to let you pull cards because I only have my tarot deck. Oh, I have my Cosmic Dancer cards here as well.
Well, I have my Sacred Traveler.
Okay. So we can choose. We can choose either Cosmic Dancer or Sacred Traveler. What do you want?
Let's do Positive
I'm
Dancer.
so easy. Ever since my experience with the blade of grass, I'm just like, okay, there's no struggle.
All right, let's do Positive Dancer.
Cosmic Dancer.
Cosmic Dancer.
All right,
she's positive.
Look, this one just came out the deck, so I'm gonna go with her. Interesting. Oh wait, this isn't Cosmic Dancer. This is Tarot. Ugh. You might need to use yours. Even though I'm gonna just say, out of the tarot deck came the Justice card. Okay, so I'm gonna name that.
You're gonna explore it because it's gotta have a reason behind it.
I'm gonna leave it there because I think, given the question that I sort of put into this space, might have something there to tell us.
All right, so let's just ask the question: What is life calling forth from us?
Mm.
And as we do, I'm gonna just pull. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that this is what it's pulling forth from us, but certainly what gets in the way. Fogged in, go slow, take your time.
Yep.
Fogged in, go slow, take your time. What does that say to you?
Oh, it just reminds me of my the lesson that I've been sitting with since my blades of grass experience however many weekends ago now, and I have been purposely moving a lot slower. Yeah. So anyways, that's the first thing that came up for me as when you pulled up the card. I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
What does it say?
Oh,
I thought you were reading a book.
Yeah. I'm cute. All right, here we go. 5 din. Card meaning. Even if you can't see what's around the next corner, go forward slowly and gently. You are safe. When you take the time to go slowly, new perceptions emerge that you can't see if you're moving fast. Your blade of grass. Move away from the rapid pace of everyday life and step into the majesty of stillness. Resist the impulse to go ahead with your first instinct. Take time to tune into your deeper intuition. Power is born in those times when you relax into the present moment. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's that.
There's that. What's coming up? I wonder what is this bringing up for you?
No, nothing. I think it speaks to your experience and to what we've been saying, over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, the one thing that stood out for me is probably really just more, don't go with your first thought. Take time, to go with your deeper intuition. Because I think that's important. I think we don't always do that, and I think also we get used to being good at acknowledging our intuition on some level, and kind of just jumping with that. I don't know what's coming up for you.
Well, I said it. I'll say it again though. But I was just thinking, like, the moving slow. Like, there's so much more. I don't want to say so much more, but maybe there's so much more that I feel like I've been available to remember because of moving slowly. And so, as human beings, we're forgetful beings, and that's just how we're wired. And moving slowly really has helped me remember very simple things, like to wake up in the morning and express my gratitude, to go to bed at night and to remind myself that I accept every single part of myself right now, not some version of me in the future, not some version of me in the past, but every single aspect of who I am, every single part of me, the parts that are wonderful, the parts that are less than wonderful. I accept all of them. But when I'm moving really fast, I am not remembering any of that. And when I move slowly, I really start to think, okay, what's the reason I'm moving so fast? What is this serving? Who is it serving? Right. It's not serving my humanity.
But I think it's an interesting conundrum, if you will, that we've gone through this lifetime with media and things that shifted to a thing of hurry up. You've got a lot to do. You've got, we can make your life easier because you've got so much to do, and then you've got this and you've got that, and you want to keep up with this, and and now we're in a phase where they're like, don't do all that. Just take your time away. Take Calgon, take me away. Relax. So it's like having to unlearn behaviors on some level. And to really, which is a challenge because people are caught up in what they're doing, which is generally fast paced, just based on social media and emails and the fact that there's no downtime. It used to be you checked the mail once a day, and if it didn't come, it didn't come, and you were done. Now you got to check your email, and you got to do this, you got to do that. So it's like really having to unlearn behaviors and be okay with going, wait a minute, I need an hour of me time or 2 hours of family time or whatever, however you balance it out.
Mm, mm. Yeah. When you were saying like we have to unlearn behaviors, part of me is like, yeah, I think it's also important that we sort of, when we slow down, and this is what I was trying to get a little bit at earlier, is that by slowing down, I look at those behaviors, right, that were shaped by the messages that I got from my family, messages that I got from culture, from my community, from the world. And it's like, who does these behaviors serve? Like, are these behaviors, are they about serving my humanity, or are they about serving something else? And so the beauty of slowing down is that I get to see what those behaviors are serving. And moving at this rapid pace, throwing my nervous system all over the place, that's definitely not serving me.
Right.
It's helping me remember, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I better stop, because it's going to be going into what we're talking about when we come back. So I'm gonna
exactly. So the main point of the card was slow down, don't stay out of the fog, take a minute, go to your deeper perception, and we'll explore a little bit more of that throughout the time with our conversation. And when we come back, we will be talking about what is calling you, what in life is calling you.
Yes.
And so we will be back after a few words from our sponsors. And so join us here on New Thought Media.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Oh, I don't think we're back.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
Well,
It's
not if you don't keep going. All right, so we're
It's
back.
all
We're
right.
back in some weird way.
Having a little technical difficulty. I want to just give thanks to our producer of the day, Gil Olmsted.
Shout out to
So
Gil.
he has now given me his computer because mine went offline. So
Okay.
any of those nifty banners and things will probably not be showing up, but oh well. Here we
Yeah.
are. So I can't hold it like this the whole time. So I need to figure out some way to do whatever. So today we're talking about what is life calling forth in you, and you want to talk about that, like what made it come up for you. I think you kind of did, but
You cut out Robyn.
okay. All right. Well, can you talk while we try to solve this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, even right now in this moment, I feel like what life is calling from me, and Robyn spoke to this earlier, that life calls for different things at different times. And right now in this moment, I think life is calling for some patience, for some understanding, and just for some acceptance that technology happens. And when it works, it's wonderful. And when it doesn't, well, it's not so wonderful. So right now, I think life is calling just for patience, for patience. Yeah.
Patience
Are
is
you
good.
back with us?
Oh, kind of, sort of. I can hear you the whole time. So anyway, so so
And your
what?
name has changed. Your name is now Gil.
I'm
He,
now
him,
Gil
he,
because I'm
him,
on his computer. Thanks.
with your pronouns. Great.
With my pronoun. Well, at least I'm clear. Um, okay. All
Yeah.
right. For right now, I just have to be Gil because I can't. I can't.
That's all right.
I'm actually holding it in my hand. So, um, so yeah. So I think we get our messages in all different ways, and I know I was having a conversation with someone the other day just about, the conversation of feeling like you're getting hit in the head by a 2x4. You know,
What?
when spirit like smacks you down with the information when you've
Oh.
ignored the subtle warnings,
Mm,
and and um you have to get it another way, like
mm, mm.
so I think we
So,
receive our messages all different ways, right?
I mean, absolutely. I am curious, once you feel more settled in, like, for like what comes up for you in terms of our question of the day is like, what is life calling of you right now?
You mean like the technical answer?
I forgot with you. I'm sorry. When I ask you, I have to be like, not just how are you doing, Robyn? How are your legs doing, Robyn? How are your arms doing, Robyn? I have to be
Well,
really
no,
specific.
no, but I mean, the technical answer for me is, I think that the message I get is that there needs to be, I need to truly be following my passion and having more creativity and creative outlets in my life.
Mm,
I mean, that's what's been coming up for me,
mm-hmm,
that, I'm always very passionate about what everybody else needs and what they want, and that it's time for me to make sure that I'm getting what I need there.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
How about for you?
Well, like, I feel like they're big. This question has like sort of like the broader what I feel life is calling from me, and the smaller, more micro expressions of what life is calling for me. For one, life was calling for me to take those damn extensions out of my hair, and now it's not. It's not as voluminous or whatever, and a bit flat, but I feel so much lighter. I just feel so much better. I can't even, like sometimes just those little things. It's just like, it was just like a little inclination, like after laying in the grass. It was like, my head feels heavy. How long I've been wearing these extensions? You know, like, and what am I wearing them for again? I got them for a reason, but then I just kept wearing them because it it felt easy. But it was like, why now all of a sudden they feel so heavy? Literally, when I got out of the grass, I was just like, my head feels so heavy. So I took them out, and I'm like, my head feels so much lighter. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Anyway, so life was called, and that was a little one, and the reward has been amazing, right? In terms of my level of like comfort and being able to be fully in my body, you know?
Right.
It's amazing how we sometimes normalize discomfort and what's required for that.
Well, and it's a little one, but it's an important one. You know, it's an important. It's important to how you feel and who you are, and and on some level, we get tied into those things. Like, it's like when you put on acrylic nails or you do something. Like you do it because it makes you feel good for a while, and then like after a while, you're like, what? How long am I going to do this for? And why did this feel good? And when I take it off, I'm going to have to rebuild my nails. And,
Yeah.
I mean, but there's so many things like that we get kind of, tripped up with, if you will, you
Mm.
know, yeah, I think that's, I think why am I doing this is such an important question,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
you know, all the
Yeah. And
time.
even that
Like,
can change all the time, right? Or that can change with time or over time while we're doing a thing.
yeah. And I think especially because there's times for me in my life where um, I say yes to something, or I hear my mouth speak before I've even thought, right? So somebody will say something and I'll be like, "Oh, I can help you." And then I'm thinking, "Why did I say that? Why
Mm.
am I doing that?" And not that I don't want to do that, and sometimes that is the reason I'm doing it, because I want to be supportive and help. And other times it's just because it feels like the right thing to do, to offer my
Mm.
services, and other
Mm.
times, you know what I mean? And so I think sometimes I get lost in, I don't know, I guess that would be somewhere between like the should category and the can category. But the question
Mm.
is really, why are you doing it? Is it yours to do?
Mm.
Is it mine to do? And does it bring me joy?
Mm.
Can I do it with love? Because a lot of times, and especially having a child, a teenager, you know that, when you do it, it's not always because you want to do it. It's because you want it done right, because you don't want to have to do it again, because you're going to have to do it anyway, on some
And
level.
probably have to do more.
Right. Exactly. So, I
Not
mean,
because
so
what you
that's an
think.
interesting place to, you know, which begs the question too, and especially with your kids, because your kids are younger and they're in the stage where they're learning and they want to help and they want to be helpful and they think they know, and although that think they know stage, it just gets worse during teenage years. But
My
all of
kids don't want
that,
to be helpful.
they don't want you to help.
They no, my kids don't want to be helpful.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like they don't. They want what they want. It's like I feel like I'm gonna make a sign that says "Mommy is not a robot," right? Like I don't even know if that's gonna make a difference, but like I'm thinking about putting it somewhere, like hanging it up somewhere. So.
But you know what I mean? I mean, like we all have reasons we think we have to do something,
Mm-hmm.
and
For
so
sure.
like stopping to think, like, why am I really doing this, and is it mine to do?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the
Yeah.
part about, does it bring you joy or happiness? Because if it doesn't, it feels like it just takes away from whatever you should be doing. Like, then you don't have the same uh bandwidth or to do what you're really passionate about.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. You know, when I said, like, when I think about the question, I was thinking about it both on like a micro level, but also like on this macro level as well. But even that, there's they enter are, as the beloved Thich Nhat Hanh would say. Um, like, I feel like more broader, like what I feel life is calling from me is to really drop more deeply into my humanity. And that means like both acknowledging all the potential that lives in me and also honoring the limits that are also there within me. And understanding that potential and limitations can live together. And when I'm slowing down, I'm more able to honor that, to feel when I'm reaching a limit, whereas so I don't have to hit the limit. And then, for me, it's all about keeping my nervous system in balance,
Hmm.
and yeah. And when I can feel when I can feel that it's the time to like expand into a potential. But none of that is possible if I'm denying my humanity and living like a robot, which is what late stage capitalism calls forth from us right now. While wanting to turn everything to robots. Oh my God, have you been keeping up with this artificial intelligence stuff?
Not that much.
Good for you. Okay. Anyways, it's like the artificial intelligence wants to be human, while the humans are acting like robots. I find it so mind blowing what we create as a species.
Mm.
So, anyways, so leaning into my humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic for another day. That whole syndrome, conundrum. I don't think I've ever said the
Fast.
word conundrum in my life, and I've said it twice today.
Are you in a
Hey, it's kind
conundrum?
of a funny word, though. It kind of feels good in your mouth. I don't know.
Conundrum?
Um, conundrum.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, yeah. So what would you say then? I mean, what would you say are some of the signs and like steps we can take to change that behavior and of to let go of not paying attention and not listening to your life? I mean, how do we take steps closer to listening? How do we listen?
Yeah. I think that's going to be different for everybody. And I know for me, it really was just slowing down, like just making myself move slow. And so sometimes when I'm working with clients, especially clients who may have something like ADHD, adult ADHD, um, one of the, so it means their brains are very, very noisy. And so one of the things that I do in practice with them that I also do with myself is pause through every word. And it is amazing what that brings up for people in their bodies. So
Mm,
literally, that's a strategy that I use. And what people start to notice is that they have all this like impatience, like rising up, like this sort of get like and yet it's that rapidity that also causes them to feel deeply misunderstood. And yet when they slow down, people are able to hear better, ask questions. They themselves start to slow down.
Mm.
And if there are people who get annoyed with that, then they'll go away. And that's okay. You know? So literally that's a strategy that I use with clients, and I use it with myself to slow down by thinking.
Right.
Mm.
No, I think that's a great strategy. I mean, it's similar to just taking a breath even before you answer. I mean, it's a longer version, right? But even
Mhm.
really taking a breath, feeding the question or the situation in your, uh, you know, in your world, and
Hmm.
because if you notice, like, people don't really think anymore. Like, it's like
Hmm.
you ask a question and somebody answers. There's not like a
Hmm.
pause, like, huh, let me think about that. It's like we
Hmm.
all think we have to know. I think it has to do with that, speeding up of that you're saying.
Yeah, what are we speeding to? I mean, all we're gonna do is die eventually. So, like, what is the purpose? Like, literally, what are we speeding up to?
Well, but sometimes, yes, and sometimes I think, people think that if they don't answer quickly, then you'll think they don't know, and if they don't know, then they're not capable, or they're not. I mean, like, I remember learning at some point, like, how important it was in a job interview, um or anywhere, but to really be able to say, when somebody asks you a question, huh, I don't know, let me think about that for a minute.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And really be able to answer from there, instead of being like, oh, I don't know, oh God, I gotta know, she asked me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think there's something embedded in us as humans, that there's something about that quickness and that pace and knowing. and
Hmm.
and it, and sometimes I think people feel like it's not okay not to know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a Western that's a Western thing, and not all of Western culture. I'm not saying that, but it's a Western thing, because when you live with other people around the world, and I'm going back to my anthropology days. I lived with people in the jungle for a little while, and the Amazon, and it is not a thing that is hardwired in us to do that, to move fast, to do everything fast. You know, like, literally, there are languages that are structured in ways that sort of require being oriented in the world a different way. And so it's a thing that we're wired to do in the West. But it's also why, we have all these high rates of all these other kinds of stress-based illnesses, because it's very stressful to sort of always be moving at that pace, like life and death pace, when it's not. Um, so, you know, even for myself, I'm finding more and more, like, if someone asks me to do something, oh, I definitely don't volunteer right away. I say, let me get back to you, let me follow up, um,
Right.
because I really want to honor the fact that I need to check in with myself. And that thing that you said earlier about, like, sometimes people feel like it's not okay to know. It's true. Like, I literally have clients, Robin, that I work with. You know, they come, with certain types of anxiety, conditions. I don't really like to say disorders, but whatever. I think our culture makes us anxious. And so often when we finally slow down, and I use a combination of things, like the speech pattern that I did earlier, but also we do lots of writing. And the number of women in particular, because I have a lot of female clients, they have so much shame, both about not knowing, and then some also about knowing. It's like a catch 22. It's like,
Right.
they don't know enough, but they know, they've also been shamed for being told that they know too much. So shame for being smart or being switched on, but also shamed for not knowing. Which whenever we see that kind of pattern anywhere in any relationship, whether that's an interpersonal relationship or a relationship in the society, we know that that's a sign of an abusive dynamic, so yeah, we're working with a lot as we change as we change this pattern.
Yeah, and it's complicated because we're working with a lot and the world's working with a lot. You know
Absolutely.
what
And
I
we are the world. We are the world.
Exactly. So, you get caught up in a track, and I think, I don't know, the whole question of time anyway, time is so elusive, but yeah, you get caught in the not enough time thing. And
Hmm.
yeah, but I do think it's interesting because we are working with and against, ourselves in media and in different ways.
Hmm. Hmm. What do you
Like
mean?
I think I think it's, there's all these commercials and things for, get your personal assistant for only $9 an hour, and they can do this and they can do that. So it's like teaching you, I mean, it's helping you delegate on some level, but it's still not telling you slow down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
enforcing kind of that we're still going to live at this pace, and
And
here's
paying,
here's
oh
the
my
way to get it
goodness.
all done.
And if the thought of paying someone $9 an hour, just that in and of itself, I would be questioning. Like
Right.
that slows me down enough to be like, okay,
Well,
what?
that's a whole different topic too. And what country do they live in, and how does that translate for them? And is it
Oh,
really
okay.
nine
So yeah,
dollars?
yeah.
And
Sorry.
you know what I
There's
mean?
that piece.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh God. No wonder.
yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing. So, I mean, but I think going back to your experience last week, which if listeners didn't listen, maybe you can recap just a little bit about, but um, really just having, I mean, I guess I can just say Natasha had a moment where she just laid in the grass and listened and felt the grass and felt the dew and felt, what was going on. And I think it's those moments when we can really just, if we can take a moment like that, even if you start your day out that way, to just breathe and take a moment and look around you. And if you go outside, stand in the sunshine and look at the mountains or the ocean or whatever's there in your world, the forest, trees, and just see them in a different way than you do when you run out your door to get to work and you're trying not to be late, and you miss half the things
Mm.
that are on your journey.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
you know
Hmm. Listening to you just makes me want to invite everyone here with us who may hear this later or hear right now to just take a nice, deep, grounding breath and to just slow down in the moment.
Mm.
Because I know for
Yeah.
sure one of the things life is calling for me is to really also lean into what does it mean to live a heart-centered life. What does it mean to live a heart-centered life? And I can only do that if I take some time to check in with my heart, my literal heart, meaning the organ,
Right.
like feel how it's beating. Is it beating fast? Okay. And is it beating fast and I'm sitting down? Okay, what's going on? What am I thinking? What's
Right.
my thought underneath the thought?
Right.
So, yeah, so my heart is beating so nice and steady right now, and I'm so grateful for this strong heart.
Yeah.
So grateful for this strong heart. Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of key, because what you said was beautiful, and as you stop and we breathe and we listen, we inevitably feel more and feel our heartbeat. And so for me, the answer to the question of what's life calling forth from you, the first thing that came up for me is, really living into my heart on some level, and being able to listen to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, that it's a good challenge to put out to everybody, to take those moments to really just consciously take them. It maybe it counts a little bit, but it doesn't really count when you're in it, when you find yourself in it, as much as when you really just set out to designate that time, the time for your heart, to really celebrate, and however you need to frame it, whether it's your time with spirit or God, or your heart time, really connecting with your heart and your passion. I don't know about you, but there are times in my life where I go through my body and I think all the working organs, and I think about literally how many miles my feet have walked and how long they've been serving me, or how much my heart has pumped, how much blood has my heart pumped to keep me alive until this time. And I just bless them. I bless each and every organ, really knowing that that's no joke. That's the miracle of life, right? Granted, there are millions of other people living this miracle with me, but the fact that I get to, wake up and be in that space, I'm really grateful. And so if you designate that time and take that time to really make it your own, whatever comes up for you, and, sit, write, journal, journaling is beautiful. Don't do anything, just lay there and, bask in the glory. Lay in the wet grass, lay in your backyard, lay in your living room if you want to.
Yeah,
but
just
listen to what you hear when you're listening,
Yeah.
Because like when I listen to the sounds of my house or something, I'm always like, oh, what was that? What was that? Things that I know happen all the time, but I'm like, huh, So I think we're good for today. I think that it's a beautiful challenge to really, try to make happen. So I say that that's what everybody does, and that next week we will see you right back here at the same time. Tell your friends and come be with us. All right.
And I'm putting out into the universe technical ease next week. Technical ease.
Okay. I'm right there with you. Technical ease it is. All right. See you, everybody.
All right. Peace and blessings.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Okay. Are we still on?
Ooh.